If you want to build real lasting wealth and you're the first person in your family to actually do it, there's really only one thing that you have to get right. And it's what I call the order. You've already heard of all the pieces: a 401k, a Roth IRA, an HSA, a regular brokerage account. But here's a question I hear all the time: what order should I open up the accounts? Which is a great question because order is everything. Get it right and every dollar you earn works twice as hard for you. Get it wrong and you'll be working twice as hard for half the result. So if you're trying to build something real and something that you're trying to pass down to your children, your children's children, the only question that matters is this: what do I fund first? What comes next? And is there an exact order that works every time? And I'm pleased to announce that there is. And it's the same checklist I walk my own clients through. Hey y'all, I'm Mark. I spent over a decade working as a licensed financial advisor, and I've since walked 165,000 people through this same exact process. But before any of the accolades that came along with my career, I was the one drowning in about $80,000 of debt with no one in my family to teach me any of this stuff. So in this video, I'm going to give you the whole order, every account in the exact sequence broken into 3 different tiers, plus the one mistake that people tend to make at each step, and exactly where you should start today. But before I give you step number 1, here's one simple idea that makes the entire order make sense. I call it the cash flow waterfall. Once you see it, you'll never want to put another dollar in the wrong account again. Let me show you. Let's start with tier 1, shall we? Your foundation. And step 1, before you invest a single dollar, is your emergency fund. This is a cash set aside that covers your whole life if your income disappears. Rent, food, all of it. Long enough that you can go and find a better job instead of panic grabbing the first one that comes along your way. And the mistake people make here isn't whether they save it, it's where do they keep it at. Typically, they park it in a regular checking account at their big bank, earning next to nothing. Your emergency fund belongs in a high yield savings account. It's an FDIC insured account, so your money is just as safe as it is at the big bank. It's still completely liquid with same-day access when you need it, but it pays you a few percent while it sits. And at this level, before you start investing, build your sinking funds. A sinking fund is money that you put aside a little at a time for the expensive things that you know are going to come up in your life. And we all know what they are: Christmas gifts, birthdays, travel, the vet bill that comes along when your dog gets sick or you have a little bit of a limp. Because honestly, that's the real reason that most people get stuck on credit cards. They charge the predictable stuff, then they carry it month to month. So my guidance is to build a sinking fund and stop reaching for your credit cards. So the foundation is simple: cash for emergencies in a high yield savings account, cash for what you can see coming in sinking funds, because the whole goal here is to stop borrowing just to live your life. Now, step 2 is the one place I never want you to leave money on the table, for goodness sake. Step number 2 is your employer match. If your job offers a 401k match, my friends, this is free money. Not technically free because you work there and it's part of your compensation, but you should think of it as being free money. Also, think of it as being an instant return that you cannot get anywhere else. And here's a mistake that a lot of people make. Most people have no idea what their match percentage is, and they're not putting in enough to get all of it. Let's say your job matches up to 5%. If you're only contributing 3%, because that's the number that you got set in your head when you first signed up for the program, and you never looked at it again, you're walking past that 2% of free money. And here's the part that I just cannot understand. You wouldn't even feel that 2% leaving your paycheck. Because here's the thing, if you have a traditional 401k, it's pre-tax. Before the money even hits your bank account, it's already out. So please, do me a favor, log in, find what your match percentage is, and bump your contribution up to that percentage so you meet it. And do that today, right now. Pause this video and go and do that, please. Your future self will thank you. This is only why the match sits so high on my list. Even if you still got debt, you could have $1 million in debt and I'll still tell you to make sure you're getting your match. And yes, I want you to also do this while you're building your emergency fund. So grab your full match, please. Because here's the reality. No one, I promise you, no one in HR is going to call you and say, hey, you didn't get your match, so just make sure you're doing 5%. They're not going to do that. I promise you, they're not going to do it. Honestly, they don't care. Now, real quick, I know the question you're probably thinking, how much money should go into each one of these in my situation? That's exactly what my free investing checklist lays out directly for you. The full order with the dollar amounts mapped out step by step, so you don't have to guess. It's the first link in the description, completely free, so go and grab it and follow along. All right, now your free money is locked in. Now we deal with the thing that's quietly working against everything that you just did. Step number 3, attack your high interest debt, and read that phrase carefully, high interest. The mistake people make is treating all debt the same, throwing every spare dollar at anything that they owe. But not all debt is worth rushing and trying to pay it off. Here's why. The stock market has historically averaged around 10% per year over the long term. So if you have a debt that's charging you more than that, a credit card at 24, maybe 26%, that debt is beating what your money would realistically have earned invested. And paying off becomes one of the best guaranteed returns out there. But a federal student loan at 5%, that's not really a fire. I wouldn't prioritize it. Don't break your back rushing to kill low interest debt when those same dollars could be growing for you in the market. Now, how hard you go depends on where you are in life. In your 20s and 30s, you've got some time on your side. So paying off all your high interest debt first, get that match, and skip the brokerage account for now. In your 40s and 50s, time is a little shorter before you get into retirement. So you can invest while you pay your debt down, both at the same time. But one rule for everyone, never stop funding your retirement to attack debt, especially if there's a match on the table. You can walk in retirement carrying some debt, but you can't get those years back where you're saving for retirement. Okay, tier 1 is done. Your whole foundation. Now we move on to tier number 2, the tax advantage accounts, where your money starts growing, and the very first one trips people up before they even start. Step 4 is your IRA. This is where you start investing for retirement on your own terms. And I got 2 flavors for you. Number 1, you got a traditional IRA, and number 2, you got a Roth IRA. The mistake here, people think they have to pick just one. You don't. You could pick either or. The only rule is the combined amount. In 2026, you can put in $7,500 total across both of them. Split however you want. You can put it all into traditional. You can do half a half. You can do 80-20. That's your call. Do what you want. Whatever makes you happy. Here's a quick difference so you can choose. A traditional IRA gives you a tax break now and lowers your taxable income today, and you pay the tax later when you pull the money out for retirement. Speaking about a Roth is completely opposite of that. You pay tax now, and then it grows and comes out completely tax-free down the road. For a lot of the younger folks that are listening right now, early in your career, paying the tax now while you're in the lower tax bracket and letting it grow tax-free might be a good move, because you're basically doing it over decades, and that could be a very beautiful thing once you get into retirement. But don't feel like you have to box yourself into one or another, and split it between the two in any way that you might want to, whatever fits your situation. Next up is the most slept on account in the entire game, and most people who have one are using it completely wrong. Step number 5, the HSA, or the health savings account. And this might be the most powerful account that most people are using wrong. If you're on a high deductible health plan, you get access typically to a health savings account. And it's the only account that I know of that has a triple tax advantage. The money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and it actually comes out tax-free when you use it for medical expenses. Technically, it's quadruple because you also don't pay any payroll taxes on it, but that's like 2.0 type stuff. But in general, you're not going to find 3 tax advantages in one account anywhere else. And the mistake that almost everyone makes is that they let their money just sit there in cash. They treat the HSA like a little checking account for doctor visits. So the balance sits there earning almost nothing while inflation quietly eats at it. If you're able to do so, you're supposed to invest those dollars the same way that you would inside of a traditional retirement account, so it compounds for you over decades. I made a whole video breaking down the HSA move by move. including why it can beat almost every account out there once you hit 65 years old. When you hit 65, it becomes a game changer. I'll make sure I link it here so you can watch it after this video, because most people genuinely have no idea what this account can do for you. All right, the foundation is built, the accounts are open. Now, if you still got some money to invest, here's what I want you to pour it into. Step number 6, max out your retirement. Once you've grabbed your match, knocked out your high interest debt, and funded your IRA and your HSA, now it's time to go back to your 401k and fill it all the way up. This one is less of a mistake and more of a tip that most people never really heard of. In 2026, you could put up to $24,500 into your 401k if you're under the age of 50. And when you do it pre-tax, every dollar you put in lowers your taxable income for the year. Here's what it looks like in real numbers. Say you make $80,000 a year and you put in $15,000 into your 401k. The IRS only taxes you on $65,000 instead of the full $80,000. So maxing this out or even moving towards it, build your retirement and seriously cut your tax bill that same year. If you got room in your budget after the earlier steps that we just walked through, this is one of the cleanest ways to pay yourself instead of paying the IRS. So once the earlier steps are handled and you got more money to invest, number one, you have a first world problem because you got too much money, which is a good thing, I guess. Fill that 401k, try to reach at max, and let the tax breaks work for you. And then we reach the last tier, the flexible stuff, and the account most people normally wrongly open up first. Step number 7, the regular brokerage account, and notice where it lands, dead last. This is the account with no contribution limits, no rules on when you can touch your money, total flexibility, and that flexibility is why people get it wrong because they open it up first. Notice that I didn't say anything about any tax benefits because there aren't any. They typically start here before the emergency fund, before the match, before any of it, because some app said that you can do it with one tap and they'll make it easy for you. Then life happens, the car breaks down, the job goes away, and because there is no safety net, there's no foundation, you loot the brokerage accounts to survive. If I'm talking to you right now, make sure you tap like right now so people can see this video, because there's a lot of people out there, including myself back in the day, where I used to do the same thing. Because after you do that, which, these expenses come up, your dog gets sick, you have something for your house, whatever it might be, you start the whole way over because you don't have the foundation first. The whole point of this order is that by the time that the emergency pops up, you got so many other safety nets underneath you. This account still sits and it doesn't get touched and it continues to grow the way that it's supposed to. This is also where investing for your kids fit. A custodial account, a 529. And I want to be clear about this. You do that after you've taken care of yourself and you max out your accounts. I know it feels backwards as a parent, but you cannot take out a loan for your retirement. Your kids can always take out a loan for college. So put your own oxygen mask on first, then make sure that you start building for them. So that's every account that you need in order: emergency funds, sinking funds, your employer match, high interest debt, your IRA, traditional, Roth, or both, your HSA, maxing out your retirement, and last, your brokerage account. Run them in that order and you'll stop starting over. But here's the truth. Knowing the order is one thing. Knowing exactly how much money should be going into each account, what percentages, all the things based off of your income, your debt, your goals, that's a completely different game. And that's exactly what I teach you in my free investing class. I've already walked 165,000 people through how the top 1% invest, how to start on any budget, and the exact order to build your account so you're never behind again. The registration link is in the description, so be sure to go and sign up. Now, every step I just gave you starts with step number 1, your emergency fund. So if you want the exact playbook for how to build a $10,000 emergency fund fast without it taking years, then the next video that you need to watch is the one you see here on the screen. So go watch it and I'll see you on the other side. One step at a time, y'all. I'm proud of y'all. Have a good one.